Good morning, everybody. This is Richard back at you. We got little Miss Annie always in the house hanging out. We got the best on the camera, Miss Teresa. We got Wayne's 2017 Dodge in the house with a 6L80 all the way from Illinois. Not noise. They corrected us on that. Hey, we from Texas, guys. You got to remember that for sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, this truck's got 3,600 miles on it. 36, 56, something like 65, something like that. Hardly no miles at all. Been in storage. We talked a little bit about the coating under the frame to make the truck never rust or anything like that. That's a good idea there.
Yeah.
But look at the tranny. You can see here the corrosion that they put on the highway, the salt or whatever they put down there.
Oh, wow.
What it does to the aluminum case.
Yeah.
Just all over. And this ain't the coating they sprayed on there. This is just
from the road.
The dirt and the salt and everything just flipping up on there. But anyway, we're gonna get this apart. This thing has no miles. Never been serviced. But what we're gonna be doing is putting all the good pieces in it. We're gonna go hit a lot of the weak links, the wear points, stuff like that. I look down in there, see a little bit of yoke wear on the side of that bushing, a little bit still, but nothing to cry to mama about for sure. Just tap on these a little bit, kind of pull on them, they'll come right off. Just like that. Then you have your yoke seal right in here. This keeps oil from getting inside the yoke and getting into the spline area. I'm not sure if this yoke has a weep hole in the back that can leak out, but this is a must to put back on. We always try to put a little bit of sealant around here. That way no fluid can get around here.
Put a little sealant where?
A little bit on here.
Oh, I see.
When we put it back on here, that way it'll have a little bit of sealant right there. That way fluid can't get in here and get past the seal. And you can see how much dirt gets in there still though.
Well, and with the way that looks, I mean, yeah.
Okay, what we're going to do first, we're going to talk about the torque converter a little bit. This is a factory converter here, a JMBX. If you ever go buy one, that's the number you're going to be giving them, JMBX. Factory torque converter. My therapy guy's kind of beat up on me this morning. I had to be there at 8 o'clock, so shoulder's a little sore. But if you look here on the mounting pads here on the torque converter, how they weld them on, these are susceptible to cracking, leaking. If you come over here and look at the...
Well, this one looks like, does that, no, it's not.
you know, it kind of had this slung on the flywheel too. This little spot here was kind of slung out onto the flywheel, and I don't know if it's just some type of grease they put on there or whatever, because it is on the flywheel too. The rear main seal isn't leaking at all on this unit. It's nice and dry. But if you look at this is a B&I converter that we always use out of Oklahoma. This is a JMBX. It's an HD, it's a heavy duty one. If you look here, it's got a billet backing on it, different clutch piston and stuff on the inside. This is one piece. The mounting pads are made to the back cover right here. Won't ever break off, won't ever leak. So that's a big upgrade on every one of these we do. They're bad about the piston bending and stuff in the converter too. Converter failure. You can see here we got our, I'll go ahead and kind of show you an idea what we're putting in here. We've got our TranStar complete overhaul kit. Comes with all the bonded pistons, the clutches, seals, everything you need here. It'll come with some snap rings. It'll come with it all in here. So that's a must right there. Of course, we have our Sonex zip kit. This will take care of your pump situation, all your valve body problems that they have. Even at low mileage that this tranny has, we can put this kit in there, and the life of the valve body is going to quadruple in life just because of this product right here. Same way with the Transgo, we use a little bit of their parts in here too. course, we have a new Sonex complete bearing package here for it. Bushing kit. We have our Sonex lube dam that's going to go on the rear planet. This is what the package looks like here. This is the open version. I always like to buy 2 of these. We buy them like 5 or 15 at a time, depending on how we can find them. Because these are easy to damage when you put them on. I've damaged one before, but only one, and I learned more on how to put them on. So, but I always like to have a spare just in case you do damage it. And then of course, we have our complete pump rebuild kit. Comes with the slide, the rotor, all the hardware that goes with the pump too, steels, everything. So filter, gonna be a really nice unit when we get it back together. Well, let's get this thing apart and see what 3,600 miles looks like. We do have a tail housing gasket here too, an O-ring, I mean. We didn't take the pan off. We just drained it, so the pan's gonna be whatever it is from the factory.
And we looked for a deep pan for this unit, but
yeah, since he put the Borlo exhaust on it, the Borlo exhaust really sits close to the pan right here, and all the deep pans are deeper, so we couldn't put a deep pan on it without it hitting the exhaust. So that's something he needs to see if he wants to cut that pretty exhaust up or not. Well, there you go, guys. That's a tranny with 3,600 miles on it, never been serviced from the factory, been sitting in storage. So I don't see any wear there. Get the filter out of there. See inside the filter. It's clean down in there. Might pull this up here a little bit closer. What we're going to do is we're going to unlock the connector right here. Push this little lever right here, pull it up, just like that. I like to take and tap on this just a little bit, loosen it, and then I'll grab it right here and I'll just slowly pull it out. Now you do have 2 rubber O-rings on here, round, right there. And then on the end of it that goes farther into the case, you have a square one. This is a square cut seal. So you always want to replace them. Get this to the side. There you go. Some of these locks are deceiving on how they unlock things. Some of them pull up, some push sideways. This one actually pushes sideways like that. Push it down like that and then unplug it. Sometimes you'll try to, if you don't know how to undo it, you'll just break it right off.
Well, it's good that you remember the time.
It's been a long time, huh?
Yeah.
I got the right one for that. My 10 inverted Torx. What it takes here. Inverted means the Torx goes inside instead of sticking out. Like that. This is inverted, this is a male style. But it takes a 10 on these valve body bolts that hold the valve body physically to the case. There. We have our 10 here. What I'm doing is I'm taking our park reverse neutral drive switch off, and that's what this is here. This slides when you move your shifter. This will slide in and out like that. Okay, we got that connected, unconnected. Everything's ready to come off now, so we can take our remaining valve body bolts out. These are longer than any of the other bolts. I got them all. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to tear the tranny down first, and then we'll get to the rest of it. Now you can air check this tranny, which we do a ton of air checking when we assemble this unit back. Excuse me, Teresa, I'm going to grab my air hose for a second.
Sorry.
Hope you're good. Now these are seals here that seal the valve body to the center support down in here, and then we actually have some more right here on the end of the valve body. These are seals too. Let's seal that to the pump. These two do, and then this seals this to the valve body for your center support. There is some fluid in these. I'm not going to air check it. Miss Teresa don't have her suit on, so I'll be nice to her.
Or my rain boots.
Yeah. Your right here, this hole right here is your 1, 2, 3, 4 clutch hole. This here is your 3rd, 5th, and reverse hole here, and this is your 4, 5, 6 clutch hole here. You can blow in these 3 holes right here and apply the clutches in the tranny down here, and then down here is I'm trying to remember again. I went blank. Is your 2/6 clutch right here. This is your low big piston. This is your lube hole, and this is your low reverse small piston. So you can blow in here to get a clutch come on, then you can get a clutch come on here, then you got your lube, and then another clutch here. So kind of gives you an idea. I do have a paper I brought. I'm going to kind of let Teresa zoom in on. This is a really good illustration here on your clutch clearances, your torque specs, your sprag rotation, and where you can blow air into these clutches. Okay, we air check everything before we even put it in the tranny. We'll set it all up on the bench, and then when we air check the pump and the drums, we actually have a dial caliper on there checking clutch clearance and stuff like that too. So we have our lockup O-ring right here. Slide this stuff down just a little bit. What did I do with my wobble? I lost it for a second. Use it without an extension. All the pump bolts, bell housing bolts, I guess you could say, instead of pump bolts, but gotta try. Still just a little weak in the shoulder, but it's doing really good, guys. No pain at all. Really nice. Now what we do, we can pull this out here. And what we do is we'll stack all this back on here when we build it, and then we'll air check it through the holes and apply all the clutches. Pretty simple. You can kind of set this on here like this. And then I can come in here and apply our 1, 2, 3, 4 clutch. This is going to be the bottom one. See that? And then we can add our 3rd, 5th, and reverse clutch. It's going to be the top one. Like that. Now they should hold to a certain extent, but some of these drums do have bleed orifices in them. So you got to be careful. It might freak you out when you air check and it leaks down. But I'll show you on the support the bleed downs on them. Same way here. We could actually put this together, put this drum down on here, and we can air check the 4, 5, 6 clutch by blowing through this hole right here. Let me set this. I don't think it'll go all the way down. It might. Yeah, it's probably gonna go down too far. There we go. Now we can come in here and check this small clutch. See that? Pretty neat. We air check everything as we take it apart. That way, if we find a crack in a piston or anything like that, it's easier to do it and find it now before you put it together and start checking it. But if you got a clutch pack that's burnt up, then you definitely want to find out why, especially on this unit, because they're about cracking things. Third, fifth, and reverse clutch looks really nice. And our 1, 2, 3, 4 clutch. Just remember on these snap rings right here, if you notice, this one lug here does not have a groove for the snap ring. So you have to put the opening right here. If you put the opening over that, like that, see how it holds the snap ring out? It'll just blow it right out. So you got to make sure you put your opening right there. You'll have to hunt for it. Just like that. Very simple. These snap rings are all selective. Not all of them, but a lot of them through the tranny are selective to set the clearances. Our first, second, third, and fourth gear clutch here. Looks good. A little dark, but still looks good. 3,600 miles, what am I saying? Even though this drum is new and didn't find leaks or anything, when we air check this, we want to look for any type of leakage around this weld right here. Okay? If you notice though, we do have a little tiny weep hole right here. So that's the only place you're going to see any oil or air come out of when you're air checking this. There will not be any air or anything coming around this weld right here. They're bad about cracking, weld breaking, stuff like that. Have a thrust washer here with a bearing on the planet, like that. Bearing goes down in there, thrust washer, then your sun gear, like that. Thrust washer on the bottom. You want to look at these sun gears though. This has no mileage on it, so I don't expect to see even a pattern, and it don't even show a shiny spot or a pattern. A lot of these will start showing patterns, so you want to look at that. This snap ring here will go in any direction. It's not directional or anything like that. Put your wave plate, steel clutch always to the top, and you put your plate, your vacuum plate. Snap ring is flat, can go any direction. Four, 5, 6 clutch hub here. Looks good. Don't see any notches where the clutches have been digging in or anything like that. There's a little tiny bearing there.
Hey, turn that back over. It's got like a look.
Yeah,
Wow.
we'll put our phone on that and see what it pulls up, huh?
You can scan that.
Yeah.
That is so crazy. That's
Yeah,
cool.
that's neat, huh?
Yeah.
Same way here, you want to look at any wear on your shells to make sure that the clutches ain't dug in or anything like that. Same way with this shell here, you want to look for any wear for clutches to be digging in. Always check your bushings. Our drivers that we have will put these bushings below surface area. They'll put them in the right depth. See how these are down in there? Some of these bushings are flush.
You can scan this one too. Look at that. It's right here.
Oh yeah, you can, can't you?
Oh my
We'll have
goodness.
to try that one time. But it does.
I bet everything else is like that, and I just noticed.
Probably.
Wow.
We're going to get in here and get this snap ring out of here. Hopefully my shoulder will pull on that thing.
Oh.
I'm going to have to use my right arm. There we go. Sure wasn't going to do it with my left one, but...
Everybody give him a hand.
Hey, definitely. Big old snap ring pliers. Crazy. Now this snap ring is beveled. It's round here on the top and flat on the bottom. You always want to put the flat down. Always try to put your tips in a good spot, not so much in the openings of the case. Another bearing here. Somebody pulled up for a second. Now we have our 2/6 clutch here. You can actually air check this one here too. I don't remember which one it is. Okay, there. But if you notice, these little capsules right here, they have holes in them. Watch, you'll see maybe a well. You see it kind of...
Oh yeah.
See? So when you go to air check it, the clutch is going to release no matter what. See? Because it's got that bleed orifice.
Well, good thing I was turning
Yeah.
that way.
This snap ring can go either direction. I try to not put the tips in an opening. This wave right here is bad about breaking. We keep a bunch of these in stock too because we've had them come in with them broken. And clutches look good, steels look decent. There we go. I just wanted to show you what this looked like. Got our 2/6 clutch piston down in here. This is kind of jicky to put in, this snap ring is, but you can do it. There's nothing that you can't do. I don't use a tool to put it in or anything, so. Of course, we have our low reverse clutch down here at the very bottom. Feels good to get back into doing some work. Let me tell you, that sitting at home is terrible.
We don't just sit at home.
We don't, but
Okay then.
well, I had to for like, we didn't sit at home, but still 2 months of recovery so far, 2.5 months. This is our low reverse clutch here. You notice this clutch looks really dark. I can take a brand new clutch over there and put it in fluid and it'll turn it dark just like that. So this clutch it is not burnt up just because it looks black.
It looks really nice.
No, if you, like say you take a brand new clutch, dip it in fluid one time, it'll be just as black as that one is.
Sure.
Of course, we have our lower sprag assembly down in here. I had one of these come in one time with this washer right here and not even under the snap ring. This was in there and this was just laying in there just like that. To get this in, this will fall and you have to take and pick this up. See how? You have to take and pick it up, put that in there, then put the snap ring in, okay? Once that falls down like that, you ain't ever getting the snap ring back in. You're going, oh, how do I get that in there? But you'll just have to take and hold it up with your finger like that. Set that down in there. And then put your snap ring in the groove. Okay. Of course, I always take my snap ring pliers here and kind of take the hook and pull that out of there. hold it. There we go. There we go. I'm not going to take this apart because I got to put it in the press, but you can see the sprag assembly that's down in there. So you always want to take it apart, clean it up, make sure that race looks really good on the inside. Here's our bearing that sets down in the back of the case. You see your park linkage here. Now you do have a bushing down in here. You notice this bushing is countersunk too. That's how our bushing drivers are designed, to countersink that. If you look at the bearing, you can see that ledge right there that's going to set down in there. That's why you got to countersink it. If you left it flush, it's going to set right there on that ledge and be sticking way up like that, so you have to countersink it. It's best on this unit, if you're doing it at home, buy you a bushing driver off the internet. I know it's going to cost a little money, but at least you know you're putting your bushings in right. We have another bearing here, got another shank on it right there, sets down in there, that way it stays centered in the gear. You can see the sun gear right here. Stick it like that, it's going to wobble all around. That centers it. Okay. Okay, now here's our lube dam that we're going to be replacing with the Sonex lube dam. This is kind of tough to get off. You kind of, I don't have really a certain way to get in here and get this off, except just start trying to take this lip off right here and try to slowly bend it out of there. Once you get this off, there's always a lot of metal trapped in here that you will not get out on a rebuild if you don't change this cover. So that's why we're going to get in there and get that cover off, because even though 3,600 miles, there still could be braking material under this cover that we want to get out. Of course, we have a here. What they did here. I put my glasses on to see what they got going on here. Yeah, I don't know why they did that, but anyway, even from the factory, I like to put that hole on this case bushing right here. I don't know why, it's just a habit. There's no feed for it or anything like that, but I like to always just put it in right there. You can put it any direction you want to, but
just your preference.
Just my preference. I want to get in this pump and see what that looks like. Annie? Well, everybody knows that this tranny is hard on pumps, hard on boost valves, hard on everything. PR valve wearing in the bore. Now when we take the stator off, the stator itself does have a dowel that sets in here, this pocket right here. You want to stick that in there like that. And then we have a pump alignment band that physically goes around this. And it will physically snug this down a little bit and it lines it up. I like to take and turn it one way, that way, and then take up about the half a distance because it does move a little bit, see? I like to take and just kind of put it in the middle just a little bit, about right like that. Retorque it. And we do have new bell housings and pump stators upstairs from GM. Raymond at Transtar said the stators are starting to really get hard to come by again. So, well anyway, this valve assembly here in the pump, we're going to be replacing all of it out. They're really bad about wearing at the end of the PR valve right in this area through here. Bushing. Looks really good through here. So, well, like I say, get rid of this right here, eliminate that big problem right off the bat. We're not going to make this no race car tranny. We're just going to make it live for a long time for this young one. Got our stainless rings here for our rotor. Stainless instead of steel. Got all of our paddles. Of course, we have our pump slide. Anytime you put the spring in, you want to make sure you don't put a little dent right here or anything. Flat file it after you get it together. We flat file everything. I'm really bad about that. I don't know if that's good or bad, but we have our pivot pin. The pivot pin has the spring made on it, but it will pop off and you can put a new pin in here. Kind of see where it's starting to push on this one side where it's not bad though. I mean, it's still in good shape. You can look at our pump slide. See a little bit in the middle. No scarring or anything like that. So we have a Teflon seal. I think that's, I don't know what I'd call that, but that's the seal there, and that's just a spacer. And then our piece right here, instead of metal like the 4L60Es are and stuff, this is a Teflon. And then we also have another O-ring down in here. Okay, you can see some scar. Well, I shouldn't have touched it with the fluid in it. You kind of see it better. See a little bit of scarring through here.
Yeah, you can see it.
See it right there.
Yeah.
I just have to take my gloves off and put my nails in and see what I can feel. Turn this over. The front seal on these do have a snap ring that holds the seal in. So you always want to put that back. You can actually put this front seal in with your fingers. No tool or nothing. It'll pop right in, put the snap ring in with your thumb. So anytime you change your bell housings, make sure you remove the dowel that stayed in there and put it back in the block of the motor. Tranny's looking pretty good so far, huh, Teresa?
Yeah, it really does. I figured that it would.
Yeah, I did too.
You don't sound like that.
He's not a hot rodder.
No.
That's for sure. Okay, we're going to undo our speed sensor wiring harness from our computer pack and solenoid assembly.
The brain.
Mm-hmm. See our inputs and output speed sensor right there. These two bolts are different than any other bolt in the tranny, so you want to kind of hang on to them, put them to the side. Take you an old towel and put them over there like that. We need our 7 and our 10. They switch from 8s to 7s right here. Them all together. Anytime we see a converter failure, tranny starting to fail, you'll start seeing a ton of metal piled up here on these little Noid switches. Okay, now this is a fluid pushes on. It's just a little micro switch in there. You do have a filter here that comes off that'll come in your overhaul kit. You can change. No trash in there neither. Sometimes these filters are blown through. Your overhaul kit, I'm not sure if the zip kit comes with them, but you can actually change out these seals here and these little, I don't know what you want to call these little pistons right here. I guess you could call them pistons. But when you push on it, it'll click. Each one of these will click. This is actually the computer itself for the tranny. Now this is programmed to the vehicle, so you cannot put this tranny in any other vehicle. That will not work. You'd have to take it to the dealer and then have it programmed. What's really noticeable at is the park reverse neutral lights aren't lit up right. I just got my 8 again. So these are all the same size there. You got a long 10 right here. Kind of put it to the side. And then all these on the back side are the same size. Electric just turns so much slower. You got to keep the trigger on all the time, where the air will just ping, spin it all the way out each time. Ping. This thing you got to hold the trigger on to make it work. Got all of our bolts out there. So we can pop this off real quick. There you go. Okay, excuse me, this is your lower valve body here. We are going to be doing some work in this area too. These valves here we'll be replacing here. I believe another valve through here we'll be replacing. Make sure this has the eighth check ball. It does. Okay. There was also, I got to go back through my paperwork and stuff. There was a little tiny hole that we were drilling out that was all way too small. Wipe this plate off real quick. Actually gonna have to probably put my glasses on, but it's, you can see it right here. See that little hole right there, Teresa?
Oh yeah, little dinky.
That when they made that hole, they almost closed it with the machine that made the hole. So we'll go in there and drill that hole out. I think it's 35 thousandths if I'm not mistaken. I'll put that. I'll look it up to make sure, and I'll put it in my notes for you guys. But we definitely want to drill that out. You want to look for all the check balls and make sure they're there. Kind of see them here in the trough. One there, one there. Gonna be one there, one there, one there, one there. And then we have our eighth check ball there. The earlier designs did not have that check ball, so you just want to make sure you put it back in there. If you flip it over, the plate, and remember talking about how anytime you have a hole and a small hole, 90% of the time it takes a check ball. Or if you have a trough like this that has two holes, it will take a check ball. See? So you just got to, that kind of helps you remember too. Just also the year will tell you too if it takes that eighth check ball. Okay. Now, 90% of the zip kit's going to go in the valve body. That comes with plugs to replace all the plugs on the back of these valves here. A lot of different other things. Just always read your instructions when you go to put a shift kit in. Pretty important, huh, Teresa? Always
Sure
study. Always, you know, if I get something odd, I'll take the shift kit in the house and study it before I even pull the tranny out of the vehicle. That way I'm really familiar with it. Just helps out so much more. Well, Teresa, it's not too bad, huh?
No.
I mean, it'll take everything we got to put it back 100% and make it way better than what it is, definitely. The longevity is just going to go way through the roof on the unit. That's what we're really looking for the gentleman. Well, you know, we want to thank you. You're the best on recording. Annie, she's sleeping over here. Guys, don't forget to subscribe, push the old notification bell. We got another one coming. We're going to try to do another video on when we test drive this vehicle and get it back together. So y'all stay tuned. Have a great day.